Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Bozard Ford studio for the St. Johns County show that's on in the morning. And when the cat's away, evidently the mice work, I guess. All right, we've got two homeowners pushing against city's eminent domain plans. St. John's families push for major change in district calendar. A Jacksonville seafood company recalls frozen raw shrimp over possible radioactive contamination. And Florida Attorney General stands against Florida state law in the Supreme Court. We'll get to all that and more, but first, we want to thank Bozard Ford. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It's a local legacy built on trust, family values, and a commitment to doing things the right way. Proudly serving St. Augustine and beyond for over 75 years, Bozard offers award-winning service, unbeatable selection, and a state-of-the-art facility with 91 climate-controlled service bays, a quick lane for no appointment needed maintenance, and even Ford's Garage restaurant right there on site. Recognized with the Triple Crown Award and President's Awards, Bozard Ford Lincoln is where hometown service meets national excellence. Great pricing, friendly faces, and a better buying experience are just off I-95 and State Road 16. Bozard Ford Lincoln, they are driven to inspire. Also, a big shout out to all of our amazing sponsors. We've got Fidus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Bin 39 Wine Bar, B&S Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy Houses. Support all of our wonderful sponsors and support us with your likes, comments, and shares. You can follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube and our Rumble channel, and you can download our app from the Apple App Store. All right, no Troy today. He's out being Florida man in the swamp, but we do have Blake. How you doing today, Blake?
I think it's constitutionally required by the 904 now that we at least have one Blevins in the studio at all times.
I think that is law. That's what I heard. 2/3 majority. It just blew right through the Senate. It was great.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, so we do have a Blevins on site at all times. It's the only way we know that we are marked safe. All right. So as the resident Blevins, do you have a question of the day?
I do have a question of the day. And the question of the day I have for today is, we've been experiencing a lot of rain here, and after a lot of rain, we see a lot of rainbows. What was the best time you ever saw a rainbow?
Best time I ever saw a rainbow. All right. So I got the amazing opportunity to go to Hawaii when I was in college, and we were on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I was there with my family. So my brother was there, and my family invited my college boyfriend at the time, and my brother and my college boyfriend were getting into motorcycles. And so we rented Harleys and we drove the perimeter road around. We circumnavigated the Big Island. And it was the first time in like 30 years that it had rained across the entire Big Island of Hawaii. There's a volcanic side and there's a very dry side. So the volcanic side is more jungle, and then there's a side that looks very volcanic, but it's just because it hasn't rained in forever. So the the lava flow looks brand new. So yeah, it rained across the entire island that day. And the boys were riding motorcycles and I was hanging out on the back of the motorcycles. And so we would outride the rain, dry off a little bit, hang out in some cool spot on the side of the road. But we did get to see a couple of rainbows that day. And when at any time you can see a rainbow in Hawaii, it's a pretty cool experience.
Nice.
Yeah. What about you?
Unfortunately, but it definitely does stay local for me, because I think I was in 9th grade when my dad was dropping me off at St. Augustine High School. I believe it just rained like before he left. So when the sun came out, like there was like a giant rainbow over this State Road 16 bridge going on past the intersection.
Yeah.
About to turn onto US 1, and then as soon as we turned down Lewis Speedway, the rainbow was like we were about to drive underneath the rainbow. So it just kept getting bigger. Then we drove underneath it. It was like, okay, where's the pot of gold at? I'm
Right?
disappointed. I guess we needed to go on the other side. But yeah, it was just like amazing. Like you could see like the full arch. You could start seeing like a second arch forming as well. So
Yeah.
it was definitely like
It was a double rainbow?
A double rainbow all the way across the sky.
Have you seen the double rainbow video?
I have before. Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the guy passed away in like 2015 now.
Oh
So yeah,
no.
but that's his like biggest legacy on the internet. So like every time I see like a star of a double rainbow, that's the only thing I really think about.
If you're ever feeling sad, Google double rainbow and you'll see this guy having this like joyful experience seeing a double rainbow, and he's just so blown away by the beauty of it. You can't have a bad day looking at that video. And so if he passed away, I'm sorry to hear that. But his legacy did bring a lot of joy to me and my family. We love the double rainbow video. Speaking of weather, now it's time for a quick check of the weather.
There's a good chance for rain today.
The Blevins bearer of bad news.
Hey! That's what question of the day was so optimistic.
It was optimistic. I
wanted
appreciate
it to be
that.
rainbows because today it's going to be rainy.
I know, it's sad. That quick check the weather brought to you by Bin 39. Discover one of St. Augustine's best kept secrets. Bin 39, tucked inside St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street, with over 95 boutique wines, 50 of them rated 90 points or higher by Robert Parker. It's the perfect spot for a romantic date night or a relaxing after-work unwind. Sit by the glass or the bottle in a serene courtyard setting and enjoy live music Thursday through Sunday. Open daily, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just stop by and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Bin 39, your taste to discover. And also a glorious spot for a little romantic courtyard proposal if proposals are on your mind. All right, buckle up, baby. It's a Hit the Blake's traffic report because you don't have enough to do today, Blake.
Yes, traffic's looking fine today.
So it must have been moving well when your dad left at 3 in the morning.
It definitely was raining a little bit today.
Yeah.
It definitely was easy. It was definitely easy for him today, but I just gotta make sure that he had a Red Bull though, and he did send me a photo of him on the boat with his guys.
Okay, marked safe. He is there.
He is definitely on the lake. So.
Well, how safe can you be with a whole bunch of guns on a boat with a DeLand crew? How safe is that? What's the camera in the upper left corner?
I think it's a mile marker 320 today. It's that camera's always been like a little bit off.
Wonky. All right. Well, that Hit the Blake's traffic report brought to you by Old Town Trolley. Climb aboard Old Town Trolley and experience over 500 years of history in the heart of St. Augustine. This fully narrated 90-minute tour features 22 convenient stops and covers more than 100 points of interest, including iconic landmarks like the Castillo de San Marcos, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagler's Historic Hotel. With open-air views and all-day hop-on, hop-off access, it's the most fun and flexible way to explore the nation's oldest city. Your ticket also includes free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum, and local St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest through the Hometown Pass program. Sign up today at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see St. Augustine, one stop at a time. Guesses in the comments what kind of accent I tried to throw on iconic today. Iconic. Who knows?
That's definitely sound New Zealandish.
It sounded something. I don't even know. All right, moving into the news. St. John's families push for major change in district calendar. Parents in St. Johns County are sending a clear message. They want the school year to end before Memorial Day. At this week's school board workshop, officials revealed the results of a district-wide survey on proposed calendars for 2026-27 and 2027-28 school years. More than 5,100 parents, teachers, and staff took part, and in both years, Calendar A came out on top. It won with 85% support for the 2026-2027 school year and 71% support for the 2027-2028 school year. The key difference, Calendar A wraps up classes in May instead of stretching into June, something parents say interferes with family vacations, summer camps, and seasonal jobs. Feedback also showed strong support for keeping 2 full weeks of winter break and preserving Thanksgiving week off. Parents push back against using holidays like Veterans Day or Martin Luther King Jr. Day as makeup days after last year's storm closures created frustration. Some suggested shifting makeups to June or adding minutes to each school day instead. But others countered that June attendance is historically low and adding minutes could disrupt athletics and after-school programs. Superintendent Brennan Asplin said the board should stick with the two options already on the table and make a decision at the next meeting. If Calendar A is approved, students will be heading into summer break before Memorial Day starting in 2026. I gotta say, we homeschool, so we set our calendar. We are finished before Memorial Day weekend every year. Join us, everybody. It's amazing. It's great. Just finish school early. You don't need to do school in June. That stinks.
Yeah, it definitely does stink. Like, but because I think I remember like during my last few years in like public education, the schedule was like moved up like late like earlier in August, and therefore the dates were moved back in June and May. Yep. I definitely will say like I definitely enjoy, like there was like that one year where it was just like a condensed summer break because of that schedule move, and that was just like a miserable summer break for me because it was like I just want to have 2 more weeks. Why did you have to move it?
It'll ruin your whole, not only your whole summer, it'll ruin the whole school year coming up because it's like I'm not even supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be here yet. It's terrible. Yeah. We had a hurricane that caused shutdowns, washed out streets, and it was like 2 hours just to try to get to school, which normally took 20 minutes. And so, yeah, we had crazy makeup days that went late. So here's my counter proposal. So they're saying instead of makeup days on Veterans Day and Martin Luther King Jr. days, those 3-day weekends, taking those, that was terrible last year. So last year we went to Peru. I talked about that trip. I mean, you've heard about that trip.
Yes.
So it wasn't just supposed to be my family. It was supposed to also be our bonus kid who is in public school. And because of that hurricane and because of these makeup days that threw their schedule all completely into disarray, it changed some of the performance dates or whatever. And so we had bought all of her tickets to go to Peru, and she couldn't go because she had things that were like, you have to attend or you fail XYZ. And they fell during those trip days. And so I spent hours on the phone with the airline, and we did get the ticket changed from her name to my mother-in-law's name. And it was such a huge blessing to go with my mother-in-law. That was really special. But that was chaotic and terrible. And just that one change stole probably 6 to 8 hours of my life trying to adjust travel plans. But my counter proposal to the adding minutes on at the end of the day, add minutes on at the beginning of the day. And I know that sounds terrible, but then you 100% get to see how many people really want those minutes. Because they'll either get there on time and they'll get those minutes, or they'll sign their kids in late at normal time, and then the parents will have spoken. You offered it as you legally had to. You offered that makeup time. And if the parents said, nah, I'm opting out, then fine. That's their right. You don't change the let out time and you don't change activities time. Everything the rest of the day is still on normal schedule, but you get that opt-in for those extra minutes at the beginning of the day. All of the teachers and the admin and the staff now hate me for that suggestion, but that's my suggestion. Add it at the beginning of the day and, see how many people actually want those minutes.
Yeah, and I'm definitely like a little bit of like a mixed feeling about like adding minutes, like because like if you add it early, you're gonna hurt the middle school students more. So I think it depends on like a case by case, like which grade level you're in. Like elementary school and high school, like they should probably add their minutes earlier. But middle school, when you get there early though, you by the thing might be better to add those minutes later.
That's some good nuance.
Yeah, because I was absolutely miserable with the early start times at middle school, and
my middle school was early too.
I was so relieved. I think like my middle school was like 7:45 at Murray. Then like to go from 8th grade at 7:45 to 9:10 at St. Augustine High School. It was just a great feeling.
Yeah, we started at 7:45 in middle school as well, and I was also on swim team, and we had like one pool that all of the schools shared in the whole district. And so our team was run by an ex-military guy. So he's like, yeah, we'll take the red eye shift. So not only did school start at 7:45, but we had to be at the pool so that we could practice before school started. That was miserable.
Well, it was definitely more things to worry about in a shared school pool than just working it than just doing like a practice session at a red light. There's more questions in there that need to
Do
be
you not
asked.
trust public schools playing or public pools?
Oh my
Trust
geez.
issues?
Yes, there's a little bit of trust issues, and I'm definitely having trust issues with my camera switcher right now.
Those finger placements.
Yes, I thought I got it down flat, but guess what? I don't.
Well, it's hard when it's just the two people and you're in that seat. That camera is way further down on that keypad than my camera. And so the keypad down here to self-produce, it's a lot easier because your fingers are a lot closer.
Yeah.
But I get it.
But I'm definitely used to like going to like the two-person shot, then going back to me, then going to the one person, back to the one person.
That muscle memory.
Indeed.
All right, moving on. Jacksonville Seafood Company recalls frozen raw shrimp over possible radioactive contamination. A Jacksonville Seafood Company is pulling one of its products from the store shelves after federal officials flagged possible radioactive contamination. Beaver Street Fisheries, based on West Beaver Street, has voluntarily recalled great value frozen raw shrimp, easy peel, deveined, tail on, 21 to 25 per pound variety. The FDA says the shrimp may contain traces of cesium-137, a man-made radioactive material. So I kind of hesitated when I said one of their products from the shelves because Great Value's not like a private brand. It's a Walmart brand. The recalled bags were sold at select Walmart stores in 13 states, including Florida, between July 28th and August 7th. The product comes in plastic bags with a UPC code of 078742133898 with lot codes 8005540-1, 8005538-1, 8005539-1, all marked with Best Buy dates of March 15th, 2027. Beaver Street says the move was made out of abundance of caution and that it's working closely with the FDA on stronger safety protocols. No illnesses have been reported, and scientists say the levels detected were well below those that could cause radiation sickness. Still, experts warn that long-term exposure could pose cancer risks. Anyone who purchased the shrimp should not eat it. Instead, throw it away or return it to Walmart for a full refund. For details, visit fda.gov. So I'm confused about this because this sounds like a small mom and pop fishery shop, seafood shop, but it's selling great value. Are they buying it from Walmart and reselling it?
No. So what it sounds like is basically they're like one of the main suppliers for great value. Like
okay.
So they're the ones that are supplying like so basically so
they're bagging it.
Yes,
and processing
they're
it.
bagging it and processing it. Then Walmart's selling it as great value raw shrimp.
All right. So great value comes from Jacksonville Beaver Street Fisheries.
I think that's one of their suppliers, and that's the only one that's been flagged. So
all right.
Jacksonville, #1.
Yay! Where were these shrimp caught? Ooh. Do we know what waters they were caught in?
I have no idea. Maybe. I don't think they specifically said, but also I wouldn't be surprised if this was caused by a Jaguars fan disappointed.
So they just dropped a nuke in the Atlantic.
Hey,
I don't know about that theory.
I'm just saying we don't know what specifically in Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
there's a possibility that there might have been like a Jackson that might have been partying too much with Mountain Dew and a little bit of beer, and that concoction together poured into the St. Johns River may have contaminated the shrimp.
I mean, it's funny that they're like, it's well below levels that could cause radiation sickness. You have to be exposed to a serious amount of radiation to immediately feel the effects of radiation sickness. Radiation is one of those things that you kind of build up over time, and it takes a long time to develop the cancer or illnesses that you're going to get from radiation.
Yeah.
So the FDA doesn't test everything that is shipped out. they test a very small fraction. So I just wonder how long there's been radioactive shrimp on the shelves before they were busted in this case.
I wish we could answer those questions, but however, the longer we think about it, the more scarier we think.
Not for me. I don't eat shrimp.
Oh, lucky
I
you.
avoid decomposers. Shrimp are a decomposer. They eat things that have died, and I can't do it. I just can't do it. I
Well,
watched a movie where a person washed up and shrimp like crawled out of. I can't do it. Ruined shrimp for me forever.
and we just lost 6 viewers. Thank you, Amanda.
I'm so sorry. I can't do it. All right. Moving away from shrimp. Gas Buddy Gas Report. Tell us in the comments what gas prices are looking like around you. We have Sunoco on North Ponce de Leon Boulevard at $2.84. We've got Shell at 146 King Street at $2.89. Shell on North Ponce de Leon Boulevards at $2.95. A1A Discount Beverage is at $2.99. Gate on US 1 North is $3.16. Gate on Mizell Road is at $3.18. Owens on South Ponce de Leon Boulevards at $3.19. Circle K is also at $3.19. Mobile and Circle K on South Ponce is $3.19. Shell at 216 Ponce de Leon Boulevard is also $3.19. That Gas Buddy Gas Report is brought to you by Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Trouble with the law? Call the name St. Augustine has trusted for years. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, available 24/7. Their experienced and compassionate team works fast to get you or your loved one out of jail and back home. From paperwork to release, they make the process simple, discreet, and stress-free. No judgment, just help when you need it most. When the time matters, remember the name and the number. Chris Lucero Bail Bonds at 904-822-BAIL. That's 904-822-2245. We've got live music today. We've got Jim Lamb at Milltop Tavern at noon. Smoke and Joe Showers at Tradewinds Lounge at 1 o'clock. Julie Papile is at Pierre's Pub at 1 o'clock. Reggie Starrett's at Milltop Tavern at 4:30. Mike Cook is at Guy Harvey Resort at 5. Mark Hart is at Tradewinds Lounge at 5. Alexis Paramus is at Old Coast Ales at 6 o'clock. Dewey Vaya is at Ann O'Malley's Deli and Pub at 6 o'clock. Stu Weavers at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill at 6 o'clock. Honey Hounds is at Pierre's Pub at 6 o'clock. Zach Hayward's at Salt Life Food Shack at 6 o'clock. Jaja Flamenca is at St. George Restaurant at 6:30. And Bad Dog Mama is closing out the night at St. Johns County Ocean Pier at 7 o'clock. That music report is brought to you by Fidus Roofing. When it comes to protecting your home, trust Fidus Roofing and Construction. Voted Best of St. Augustine every year since 2012. As a GAF Master Elite contractor, Fidus installs the GAF Lifetime Roofing System and expert metal roofs built to withstand Florida's toughest weather. From emergency repairs to full replacements, plus pavers and gutters, Fidus delivers quality, durability, and energy savings with every job. For Fidus Roofing, call 904-355-ROOF. That's 904-355-7663. Fidus Roofing, where trust is built from the top down. All right. We've got a couple of updates in our trends because, honestly, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell a Gen Zer about what's trending. So I've got a few updates. The Hurricane Cakes petitions at 39,186 signatures. We've got the return of the original Cracker Barrel logo. They have conceded. They posted on X, "We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we would listen, and we have. Our new logo is going away, and our old timer will remain. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 75,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to our table soon. Please come back. Please, please, please don't make us fire the 70,000 people hardworking in our restaurants." So what do you think? Like, how long before they fire this lady that has been out talking about how amazing this beautiful new logo that looks like off-brand Velveeta cheese is?
I'm not really sure. Like, if this person's gonna be fired. Like, I think a lot of people like on Twitter have been saying look, all these rebrands, like how Pizza Hut changes its buildings, how McDonald's changed its buildings, how Taco Bell changed their designs, how like a lot of these businesses like change their design just mainly comes down to who owns the companies themselves, and a lot of them come from like they're owned by private equity firms, so they just want to have like the most like minimalist logo possible, like the most minimalist store possible.
Well, so what I heard about the building redesigns is that, I mean, McDonald's is one of the largest landlords in the world.
Yeah.
They own those properties, and so they wanted to make them more homogenous and more appealing should they vacate the location for a future renter that's not McDonald's. And so that's what I heard about them kind of removing the stylized Happy Meal shaped buildings and turning them into concrete cubes, rectangular prisms. I hate it. I hate the homogenization of everything. I want the old Pizza Hut again. I want the old Happy Meals McDonald's again. And I want all of the cool, old, kitschy, and like pictures and the tools and whatever on the Cracker Barrel walls. I know it's got to be a nightmare to dust, and I'm sorry for that, but I want it. I want to see that. That's why I go to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I definitely do want to see the spatulas. I definitely want to see the pin rollers. I definitely want to see all that stuff. I definitely want to see the old timey grandma and grandpa photos.
Yeah.
While I eat my $12 pancakes.
Exactly. I worked at TGI Fridays, and when I worked there, that was my first job ever. When I worked there, they had all of the like cool things on top of the walls, like the little shelves in between the walls. And I thought it was cool. And when I was bored on my shift, I would look at all that stuff and try and figure out what some of it was.
Wait, hold on a second. Someone worked at a TGI Fridays?
I worked at TGI Fridays.
Did you work at TGI Fridays here in St. Augustine? Or?
No, I did not. My first job was in the Panhandle. So I worked at a TGI Fridays in Destin that no longer exists. But yeah, I worked at that TGI Fridays. It was one of the first like chain restaurants to come into Destin right when Destin hit puberty. Destin and I hit puberty at the same time. It was a sleepy little fishing town, and then by the time I graduated high school, I had like 200 restaurants and crazy traffic.
Yeah, because like right now I think the TGI Fridays is gone and was replaced by the Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wild Wings is in that spot.
Yeah, so but yeah, so like a lot of restaurants like do this thing is like please just stop being minimalistic, or like just have a little bit of character. But also I understand like having character, like off-brand character in an area, like imagine like the downtown St. Augustine, like they decided to renovate it back to like a Happy Meal style location in downtown St. Augustine.
I don't care.
Makes sense.
That would be fun. I don't care. That's fun. That's still part of the history of St. Augustine. I mean, obviously, McDonald's wasn't there when Ponce de Leon got here, allegedly, or maybe he didn't, depending on what tour you take downtown. But, like, make it look like it did when it was first there. And I think that's cool. I think it's special to see the buildings in their kind of original state preserved. But I also like to travel and go to places and see old buildings, and not everyone likes that. But I do.
But what's the big thing about Cracker Barrel, though? Get your prices down. I don't want to pay $12 for pancakes.
I know. They raise their prices and then they remove everything that makes anyone want to go there, which is their character and their like homey feel, and the kids have something to look at, so they're not looking at an iPad at the table.
Oh yeah, and
keep the country store.
Yes, indeed, and also keep the peg game. Keep the peg game.
If it doesn't say that you're an ignoramus, it's not the peg game. Get it out. It's actual firewood.
Yes.
If it doesn't say you're an ignoramus, it ain't the peg game. All right. I had one more, but we'll save it for tomorrow, and we'll get your dad's opinion on that one.
Oh, boy.
All right. Moving back into the news. Holdout St. Augustine homeowners respond to city's land-taking lawsuits against them. A legal battle is brewing in St. Augustine's downtown flood control project. Two property owners are pushing back against the city's efforts to take their land through eminent domain. City officials say they need both temporary and permanent easements to build a seawall, pump station, and drainage upgrades designed to reduce chronic flooding in the city's historic core. Most landowners have already agreed to give access voluntarily, but these two owners have filed formal objections in court. Their filings both argue the city has not negotiated in good faith and hasn't proven the property seizures are necessary. They say if the court allows the takings, they're entitled to full compensation not just for the value of the easements, but also damages to the rest of their properties, construction impacts, and attorney's fees. One owner goes further, alleging city officials made misleading public statements that hurt her reputation and stirred opposition in her neighborhood. Both warns of harms such as reduced access, noise, air quality concerns, and the loss of waterfront use rights. The city of St. Augustine maintains the easements are critical to protecting downtown from flooding that has repeatedly inundated homes, businesses, and public spaces. The case is still moving forward in St. Johns County Court. What misleading statements were made? Did I miss something?
No, I don't think you missed anything. I know we reported on the story like in the past few months, so
Yeah.
I haven't heard like anything important. Like so, I mean, good luck to the homeowners, but I think at some point, I think like common sense has to come about. It's like Lake Maria Sanchez has always been like a flooding spot, so it's definitely important to have a seawall there, and in order to have the seawall, you need to make sacrifices, and unfortunately, these two homeowners are part of the construction area for the seawall.
I was trying to leave downtown going by Lake Maria Sanchez on Sunday, and it rained very heavy on Sunday, and there was flooding, and that I had to drive through the water, crossing my fingers and holding my breath that my minivan will make it through the flooded roads. But I mean, I get it. It's your property. You don't want to lose any bit of it. You have waterfront property. You want to keep your view, and you want to keep that. I don't think it hurts your reputation to say this person is stopping us from making sure all of your homes won't flood.
Yes.
I don't know that that's a misleading comment, because you literally are trying to stop people from having that seawall built.
Yeah.
It's a mess.
It's definitely better to save your own home than say, oh, look at this beautiful view of Lake Maria Sanchez.
Yeah. And now,
has anyone ever said, oh yeah, Lake Maria Sanchez, it's beautiful?
It's pretty. It's water. Any water's pretty.
Okay.
I don't want it in my living room, though.
Okay. Do you want to see the retention pond? That's all green next to our building here. Do you call
There's
that
turtles
pretty?
in that pond. It is pretty.
It's green.
I don't care. I like green. Water is always going to be described as pretty, just like rainbows will always be described as pretty.
Well, that's because rainbows are multicolor. Okay. There's
Your problem is the color of the water?
Yes. Why would anyone swim or say like an algae infested water is pretty?
I bet the water that your dad is currently hanging out in is green, and I bet it is pretty. Lots of mosquitoes also agree. All right. We're just not going to agree. Attorney General wants to strike down 2018 Florida state law that puts age restrictions on gun purchases. In a highly unusual move, Florida's top attorney is siding against one of the state's own laws. Attorney General James Uthmeier filed a brief Wednesday urging the U.S. Supreme Court to strike down Florida's 2018 law that bans anyone under the age of 21 from buying long rifles or long guns. That law was passed after the Parkland school shooting that killed 17 people, and it has been upheld in lower courts despite challenges from the NRA. But now Uthmeier argues the law violates the Second Amendment, saying it leaves young adults, including single parents and those in high crime areas, powerless to defend themselves. His brief contends that history shows Americans have long trusted 18 to 20-year-olds with firearms. Gun safety advocates are blasting Uthmeier's position. The group Brady filed its own brief urging the Supreme Court not to take up the case, saying the law has saved lives and is consistent with both history and modern science about brain development. The Florida House has tried multiple times to repeal this law, but the state Senate has never approved it. For now, the law remains in place, but the Supreme Court will decide whether to hear the case. So the brief from the Brady group, it says that the law has saved lives. I don't think you can prove that. I don't think you can prove a negative. So you can't prove that this law stops something that we never knew was going to happen to begin with. I am a pro Second Amendment person, if you can live alone, if you can legally rent or own property and live on your own, I believe you should have the right to defend yourself and your property. I believe that's the way the language is in the Constitution, and I believe that the writings of the founders support that stance. So I don't agree with this law, and I hope that it succeeds.
Yeah.
I hope that Attorney General Uthmeyer succeeds.
Yeah, I definitely do believe if you can live on your own, if you're allowed to live on your own, then you should have a right to at least own like something to protect yourself. How though? But and I definitely hope like this law doesn't affect like those 18 to 20-year-olds that like want to hunt. Like I really hope like they should have a right to have one of those guns. However though, my thing is like, do you really need, like, if you're living in an apartment, do you really need like one of these rifles in your house? Like is that necessary to defend like yourself, or just a simple pistol efficient enough for you in that situation?
I was told by law enforcement that the best weapon to have for home defense against an intruder was a rifle. It was it was a shotgun, double-barrel shotgun with a certain kind of round in it, and that was what they suggested to me, because you have a wide array of penetrating objects that are flying through the air, but also they don't penetrate through drywall like a handgun does. If you shoot a 9mm, if you shoot a Glock in your house, it's going through the wall. It's going through drywall. Nothing's going to stop that for a while. But there are types of bird shot that will tear up someone that's trying to come at you in your house, but it's not going to go through your drywall and kill your kid on the other side of that wall. So I would say that according to law enforcement and what I've been told about weapons, yeah, shotguns and they are excellent for home defense, especially since if you were tiptoeing in someone's house, hoping to snag like their iPad and their wallet, and you hear that shotgun rack, are you staying? That's a very loud deterrent to let someone know you need to leave right now. So,
but we'll say though, it said in the story that this law came up after the Parkland, and like one thing about that is like when most of these victims how most of the shooters got the guns came from their parents originally. So so this doesn't really stop that as well. So
I think in the Parkland case he had purchased the weapon. But he had purchased it under false pretenses. He had lied on the forms in order to get it. But also, Parkland wasn't because an 18-year-old had a long gun. Parkland was because a troubled kid who had had the cops called on him 40 times, they never did anything about him.
Yeah.
He had multiple violent calls that should have had him convicted of something, so that he could never have purchased a firearm to begin with at that time. And because the sheriff wanted to keep, allegedly, the sheriff wanted to keep his crime stats looking a certain kind of way so that he could get these special bonuses that came down from the federal government, that he did not do anything about a known threat. And so that's why Parkland happened, in my opinion, allegedly. I'm making no actual assertions.
Yeah.
But this law would never have stopped. It wouldn't have stopped Parkland.
No.
It just wouldn't. And it wouldn't stop any of them, because usually if you want it, you're going to steal it. That's what they always tell us about weed, right? If you really want weed bad enough, you're going to find a way to get it. So you might as well make it legal so that you don't make criminals out of otherwise law-abiding citizens that just want to use it recreationally in their home without endangering anybody. I mean, it's the same story with a long gun. I mean, if they want it, they're going to get it. There's criminals all over the country that prove that every day, especially in Chicago and in cities where there are much more restrictive gun laws. All right. How do you want to check the comments, Blake?
Alrighty. On this Wednesday, I will work my way wildly or wistfully through the wonderful witticisms of the waking watchers. Why, Bobby, why?
That witty wandering is brought to you by B&S Signs. Want your business to get noticed and stay that way? Turn to B&S Signs, proudly family-owned and serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From bold vinyl lettering to towering pylon signs, they specialize in high-quality custom signage built to last. Their expert team handles everything: design, installation, crane service, repairs, and maintenance with fast, responsive service that keeps your sign looking sharp. Make a lasting impression with B&S Signs. Visit bnssigns.com because when it comes to signs, they do it all. Also brought to you by St. Augustine Handy House. Need a customer prefab portable building that's built to last? Come to St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Usina Enterprises and serving the community since 1988. With over 70 structures in stock, from sheds and barns to carports and offices, you'll find the perfect fit for your needs. Every building includes free delivery, leveling, and anchoring, plus easy financing options. Visit them on State Road 16, open Monday through Saturday, or call 904-823-9092. St. Augustine Handy House, where quality meets convenience and community matters. All right, give us a comments report.
All right, so we have a lot of gas reports today. We have
Yay.
Wawa at 318, Costco at 279. Thank you, Tim. Buc-ee's is at 284. Thank you, Bobby. BP at Lewis Point is at 318. Speedway is at 319. In Iowa City, it's 284, and in Spokane, it's 409.
Dang, Spokane.
Yeah. Kenny won first comment today.
Nice.
Barbara Jean is back home.
Yes, she is.
Welcome back. And then Kenny says mountains are prettier than water.
What are you doing here, Kenny? Do you have a Stardom stat?
Yes, I do have a story
All right.
set. Let me put up the little graphic for you right here. Yes, so on this day in 1883, Krakatoa the eruption at Krakatoa.
Krakatoa eruption.
Yes, indeed. So this took place on the uninhabited volcanic island east of Sumatra and west of Java. So this eruption was so powerful it was heard 3,000 miles away and believed to have produced the loudest sounds in human history.
Wow.
The explosion threw 5 cubic miles of earth 50 miles into the air and created 120-foot tsunamis that killed over 36,000 people.
Dang, that's crazy. What year was that?
1883, the eruption of Krakatoa.
Dude.
Yeah.
Aptly named Krakatoa.
Indeed.
That's Stardom Stat, brought to you by St. August Pizza in downtown St. Augustine, right at the corner of Riberia and MLK. Get yourself a slice today. Do we have plugs, Blake?
I think we might have a plug coming. I think I might have a plug coming up soon. But however, I need to get the main guy's approval though.
All right.
Quick, so
Confirm your details. We've got Bollocks tonight. Lenny's back. Does Lenny have a guest?
no, Lenny has me.
Lenny has you?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know if you need me, guys. Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to YouTube, and Rumble. Bollocks tonight, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.